Hello, historians. It's April 22nd, 2021, and I want to talk today a little bit about, Franklin Roosevelt and the New Deal. I rushed right into World War II, and I didn't really talk a lot about President Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was his full name. He was president during World War II, and so I want to give you a little information about him and about what's called the New Deal. So Roosevelt was a New Yorker from a very wealthy, what we call an aristocratic family. And when he was elected president, it was right in the midst of the Great Depression, and Hoover was very unpopular. And as we mentioned, even though Hoover had put in some government programs to improve people's lives, we didn't have a history of the government stepping in to do that. We hadn't had anyone like Franklin Roosevelt, or as people often called him, FDR. And FDR brought in all these government programs that we refer to as the New Deal. So when Roosevelt became president, he was already paralyzed. He had had polio earlier in his life and did not have the use of his legs really at all, spent his life in a wheelchair, although most Americans did not know that. Whenever he was photographed, it would be, his upper part of the body, or he would be propped up with braces, so it would look like he was standing on his own. And you have to remember, this is the era before television. People didn't see the president all the time on, a screen in front of them. The only time they might see the president outside of still pictures would be if they went to the movie theater. And in the movies, they would often show what was called a newsreel before the movie, and it would give you some, big news of the day. And oftentimes, President Roosevelt might be in those videos, but certainly he was never shown ever in a wheelchair. He was elected president 4 times. No other president's been elected more than twice. Now we have a law as a result of Roosevelt's 4 terms. We have a law that restricts a president from serving more than 2 terms back to back. Of course, George Washington probably could have served as many terms as he was willing to serve. He was so revered in his time, but of course it was Washington himself who decided he would only serve 2 terms, that he didn't want to be like a king who served for life. And so he set a precedent, and it was Roosevelt who would break that precedent by being elected 4 times. He sadly died in the midst of his 4th term as president. But while he was president, he did these government programs that provided various ways to improve the economy, working with the banks and with farmers, and especially setting up government programs that would put men to work, would give them jobs. Oftentimes they were jobs where they would go somewhere and work on a major public works project, sending most of their pay home to their families to help support them. One of those projects was the Blue Ridge Parkway. If you've ever been out to the mountains and driven the Blue Ridge Parkway, was built as a result of a government program during the New Deal. So I just wanted to give you this little kind of update that's what we're talking about today. Then we'll come back again to World War II next week. So this week it's the presidency of Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the New Deal, but that is before World War II. All right, so I want to make sure we get our chronology straight. All right, that's all I have for you today. So bye for now.